Today we're talking about rice.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Light Movement. As you just heard from John, we're going to be talking about rice today. Never mind, that's a joke. We're going to be talking about how to live an artist's life. And so what, all the abstraction that comes with that, maybe routines and stuff. We're going straight from the dome today, not too much planned, but that's, as always, how we do it here. So, we like to keep it fresh. We got DJ Freezy J on the show today, as well as Dimitra as usual. So last time, in case you guys missed it, 2 weeks ago, we talked about reimagining art education. Ellie hosted that podcast with two fantastic artists, Alana Anderson and Christina Shear. Sorry, Christina. And I heard that was a really good topic, or really good conversation. So, while we're waiting for some people to join this live right here, let's talk about what an artist's life looks like, as in last night. So, for those of you who don't know, Dimitra and I, we live in the studio, actually, like in the art studio.
Oh.
So right now we're in our film studio.
Start with that story, yes.
Yeah. We're in our film studio right now. And so we have a film studio right here. We have an art supply store right behind us. And then we have our main studio where our conference, where we paint, where, we have all the workshops and stuff over there. And then Dimitra and I have an apartment right over here. So we live right in the thick of it.
In the middle of all of it.
and we had to install some fire alarms in order to, be up to code, because that's safe. And
This was years ago.
and we want, everyone to be safe. So we installed some fire alarms. And another thing is, in Dimitra and I's apartment, we've been struggling to get air conditioning for the longest time. We have air conditioning in here. We have air conditioning in the studio as of recently. And we literally just got air conditioning yesterday on Dimitra's
over 6
birthday.
or 7 months.
Yeah, it took us, so we finished building the place in January this year. So it's
February.
January, because we had our anniversary. And then,
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's literally been 8 months since we've been living
Just
in there
crazy,
without air conditioning. And we just got it yesterday. And so we're celebrating. We get home from a beautiful camping trip for Dimitra's birthday. And in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., the very first night that we have air conditioning, our fire alarm goes off.
And I think it's because of the moisture. There's a lot of humidity here.
Could be.
Who knows?
knows?
So much water that
at
it's
once.
actually dangerous in that it could cause fire because of the amount of water. So you never know.
The dogs are freaking out.
Fragile machines.
It was.
But it's piercing for your ears and for your dome, and you can't sleep through that. No possible way. So I was asleep when I heard some noises out at the house. So they didn't tell me anything. I saw Milo in the house, and my dog came back. He was having a sleepover at their house. So he came in the room, and he was talking to me. But this was at 3:30, so I didn't hear any people. So I went outside in my underwears. Outside, my dog was catching like a mink or a ferret or something.
Oh my God.
And I could not stop him, and I was trying to explain to him, just don't bite it, don't get attacked, whatever. The thing was doing the dolphin move, running along. I think it was one of those opossum, I think so. But I tried to look it up. I could not get back to sleep. Guess what? In the morning, a little dog came that was the size of a possum. Came to visit,
Hey, that probably is what it was.
A lot of animals are coming out of the forest. There's a lot of action around here all the time.
So that is all to say that this is what an artist's life looks like. No, I'm just.
I guess
kidding.
it's just a little snip.
No, that was just a little icebreaker for you guys. Let's see. This is why I look so tired. That's all. It was just a
He doesn't look tired to me.
defensive excuse of why I look tired. Okay, but so I should let you guys know that we are, as usual, going to be doing an art critique at the end of this, about 30 minutes from now. So, Dimitra chose 3 of your paintings that you guys submitted using the hashtag ArtBreakthrough2021 on Instagram. So if you want to get your art featured on the show, put it on Instagram, post it, tag us, use the hashtag ArtBreakthrough2021. That's how we'll see it.
Art Breakthrough 2021.
Boom, exactly.
One word with a little hashtag mark in the front, like a pound sign, like a waffle iron with
Waffle iron, waffle, hashtag.
21.
And then
Breakthrough
also
22.
we'll be doing a Q&A at the end of the show. So taking questions from Instagram and from YouTube. If you're watching on Instagram and you want to hear us in the full quality, full HD, every little, opening, breathing of the mouth, then come on over to YouTube. You should be able to see it in our stories.
Full HD.
Full HD.
FM voice.
Okay, so let's
Calm
get
before the
started
storm.
with today's topic. So is it how to live an artist
How
life?
to live an artist life.
How to live an artist life. Well, first, what does an artist life look like? So let's have Freezy. Why don't you start us off? You tell us, and maybe not right now because I know you're busy with a lot of miscellaneous things. After our very intense month-long of conference and filming season 2 of Outstanding Artists. But think to your most productive time as an artist, like when you were the most productive you've ever been with painting, selling art, all that. What was your daily routine like? Like what did a day in the life of DJ Freezy J? Well, back then it was just John Milan. Back then actually it was probably, I don't know.
Recently, the name Freezy J came about. The Lord shouted it to me in a dream, and I was laughing so much I told everyone about it, and I ran with that name and made music-related art. But to answer your question, what I do is I make a routine to follow it, and once you do something for 30 days, then it becomes like a habit. It becomes you really want it to stay that way because you get so comfortable with it. So if you can balance health, nutrition, exercise, and all your art supply needs, everything that you need for your projects, you could pretty much get a lot accomplished. So I like to work in layers, and so even if I just get things started and keep myself inspired, keep it all notes close by, you clear your schedule so that you don't have a lot of phone calls or things happening for 5-6 hours. You start one layer process, let that dry. If you have sunshine coming in, you have time for things to dry.
Do you work on lots of paintings at once or just one at a time? Like how does that process go?
Yes.
Which one?
I would say at most times I like to have 5 to 10
Yeah.
going.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that
That's
way you're
something
more
I need to
productive.
do. You told me that.
So say if you're going to make surfaces, if you were to make 5, it takes up a lot of space, but various different sizes. So you can have those drying, and then you can even get to the next 5 if you're pushing yourself. So I use tabletops and then these large easels. And now I have more easels than I've ever had, ever. So there's no excuses.
I feel like going back to your question about just how to live an artist life, like what comes to mind for me is all the regular jobs out there, or just other jobs that are more like 9 to 5. That's like your work and life is all separated. Like you have your work time, then you have your home life, and you have weekends, and it's all compartmentalized. Sorry, I messed up my words. Anyway, so it's like all separate, and that's how a lot of people live. But as an artist, it's just everything is intertwined. It's all together. You can't really separate working and life. I mean, it's just like, I feel like as an artist, especially as a professional artist, it's just you work 24/7, but then it also feels like you're never working because you're always having fun. And it might be, you're definitely going to come across blocks and challenges, and you'll definitely hit walls while painting, and it can be very stressful and emotional, but you learn to push past that, and it just becomes a habit and a lifestyle. And I'm really grateful that we can live as an artist. Just it's amazing to be working all the time, but just to really love what you're doing. and not having, life and work separated. I think that's a huge part of being an artist, is just realize that life is art and art is life.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like you were saying, with a 9 to 5, you have this, you're not in control of your time. And that's like a huge difference of what, that separates an artist's life from, an employee's life.
That's very true.
And like in an employee's life, you show up to work, and you're there from this time to this time. You don't get to do what you want to do, and you do what other people tell you for the most part, and then you don't have a lot of freedom with that. As
an artist, you're a business owner, and
Exactly.
you're the boss of yourself. You can control your time and like the energy you put in and the outcome, and you control all that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and I think if you want to be like a successful artist, then you have to learn how to schedule your time. You have to learn how to figure out when you're going to be the most productive too, and make that your painting time. And learn how to prioritize. Creating a schedule is something that a lot of people kind of struggle with, or at least struggle with sticking to.
If you make a deadline, you got to reach it.
Yeah.
If you give yourself that last minute thing, if you let yourself go and you go beyond the deadline every time, that's going to be a habit too. But I have to backtrack a little bit to say this. I think an important part of the artist's life is taking orders from others. So say you have special orders of art. If you become sad when you get a special order, that's like you're defeating the purpose. You want to make this for others, you want to make it for yourself, but if you can get a balance of those
By special orders, you mean like commissions? Okay, yeah.
And I want to ask Dimitra first, how often do you get commissions, and how do you deal with those?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, it fluctuates, but I feel like lately with the new series I released, the Mystery Dream Paintings, those are kind of like commissions in a way.
It's a mystery.
And so I have a lot of those in the queue that I need to finish. And then I have...
Special order mystery,
and then I have
the best ever.
A few other commissions through galleries, but I would say it just kind of, it fluctuates each month. Like maybe a couple months go by, I don't have any commissions, and then 1 month I'll have 4 that month. And I notice when I sell art, it's kind of in clusters. Like somehow, I really don't know how it works. I feel like it's just like this, collective energy, or just like everyone, I don't know, there's something interesting that happens. Like when I sell an original, like around that time I'll sell another one, or I'll get a commission. It'll just kind of goes in waves. So
people see something, they want to jump on the action.
Yeah.
I want to say also, would you say that when you're doing commissions, the clear communication is the ultimate thing that makes it work?
Definitely.
Would you say? And
yeah,
visuals
and when you...
descriptions, because if you get it wrong, you're spinning your wheels.
When you get commissions, like if you get requests for that, I would say just do it. Like that's a great opportunity, and it's another it makes precedent of sales. So it really builds your career, and I think it's good for any artist starting out. Like just take all the commissions, and then later if you have too many or you're juggling too many things, you can always close your commissions for a certain amount of time and then open it again later. And you can also, like later on after you have more sales down, you can start to be picky about the type of commissions that you receive, and just do it that way.
I have 2 more things.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What with the clear communication? What do you think are some of the really important things that you have to communicate to someone when they are commissioning you to do a piece? Like, what are some of the things that you want to make sure that you communicate?
Okay, I'm going to say them like bullet points instead of a grand detail. So I would say size, color, textures, visual information. But when it comes to the really small, fine details, they have to give you some freedom. Otherwise, they wouldn't be asking you in the first place. So you need to keep that switch in your mind so you don't get angry at the client. Just many artists might. I balance it where I love every commission. It might seem like, oh, now I got to work. It's hard, but it actually is not that hard, because you have something to start with. Where other times you're shooting into the cosmos for an idea, and you're hoping, wow, people will like it. So if you like it and you're happy with it, no matter what you're making, you have to pour this. Mic, check. You need to pour everything from your heart, all to every single painting. And when you get to that point, it doesn't matter. Someone says, I want a picture of a sofa right from my sofa. I want it to be my sofa with me on it. You go, oh, wow, yeah. I see the vision of that. Okay, you got to run with it. You can, would you put a striped beanie hat on? I mean, you got to find what are they going to
like
be
add
wearing.
your style to it.
Yeah.
And you can ask all these questions and write some notes, okay? I met a client once and became a really good friend, but he gave me a list of like 100 objects on that list. And
Yeah, that's hard. That's really hard.
I did it. I put it in there. But I had to ask him questions. We became friends because I did not know. It was like 12.4, grandma with socks, raccoons. I mean, it was things that meant something to him, but I didn't understand.
Oh my gosh.
So it was a long list.
So it sounds like another really important thing that you need to communicate is that like a commission still should be your voice as an artist. Like the person who's commissioning you should understand that, you know, and I know this from your experience and like, you know, not my own personal, but, you know, like helping you talk to people and, but you need to like basically lay down the law in advance and let them know, like, this is like what, like, if you want a painting from me, it's going to be in my style. Like, I'm not going to be painting in this certain style. But as you're saying though, like if you're first starting out and you've never done commissions before, maybe you would lower that expectation a little bit and be a little bit more open to doing other styles, to build up that precedent.
Also, pricing.
Pricing,
You need to get the price how you both agree on and do 50% up front at
50,
least.
yeah.
And that will keep it straight for both of you. And the shipping, you can negotiate that in.
What do you do 50% up front?
It really depends on
The size.
the size
yeah.
and the price, like the overall price. If it's like a larger piece and it costs more, I basically am flexible with like whatever they're comfortable with. So, but I definitely require like at least a third of it down before I start. So, and don't send the painting before they finish, like paying you. We've known some people who've
Never,
done that,
ever.
and you know, they don't get paid for it. So,
Yeah, I mean, that just goes for anything
Yeah.
in life that you're paying anyone else for.
You'll become comfortable with this so that it's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
And you love getting commissions one after the other. So when you make a photograph moment of it in their home and they can photograph the art in their home, if they're cool with that, you can make this fun atmosphere one after the other. You can save those photos up. You can have an extravaganza going on where it's like firecrackers. Everyone's ordering. It's you can keep that momentum. So then the other thing is, when you are shipping, you need to wrap your things really carefully. So as an artist, you might need space to get the best cardboard boxes. I mean, you want to wrap these things nice and find a nice shipper, and that, like DHL is a good one. I don't know if I can say names of companies here we're promoting.
It's fine,
but
I think.
USPS is pretty good, but if
USPS?
for smaller things.
I mean, for the U.S.,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
But
all
you
right.
can't do
Just
for
not
really large
international.
pieces. DHL has been really excellent
Yeah.
all
Very
the
good.
way.
Yeah,
So-
international.
and I know UPS has more business than anything because they were the leaders of that industry for so long. But they drop things and smash things. I'm not slandering anybody. I'm just you must insure your stuff, and you have to be very careful wrapping it. It's like a mystery. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but it's a big part.
You had a couple other questions. What were your questions?
Yeah, so commissions are one thing, but when you're making your own type of art and you're having categories, you need to photograph it really well. How do you do that?
We use a Sony Alpha 7 III camera.
High resolution, all the way.
Jake helps me with that, so he's got
So
it.
yeah, our camera, the Sony A7 III, or is it A7 II? I can't see. A7 II. It's not. Yeah, I'm looking at the cameras right now. A7 II. The A7 III is the newer version, and then they have like the A7 IIIR, but
you need to store your high resolution in nice memory squares.
Yeah. So you want to have SD cards. Those are the memory squares that he's talking about. But then he also could be talking about the external hard drives, which are also memory squares. I would call them memory rectangles.
One square can hold like hundreds of other squares.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're an artist, you want to have a good organized system of like, especially once you start creating a lot of different pieces of art, and if you're moving into licensing or, if you have a SKU in general on your products and stuff, if you have a lot of products, you want to have like an organized system, folders of all of your pictures, because, like your pictures are your way of getting your art out there on a mass scale. So
not losing it.
Yeah, so you want to make sure. John's kept hard drives for years and years. You have one hard drive with like super old art on it.
It needs to be edited.
But when you're, making pictures for prints and stuff, you typically want at least like 6,000 pixels, but sometimes, like our camera actually only does 4,000 by 6,000, but it has really like 300 DPI, which is dots per inch. So there's PPI and then there's DPI, and they're actually different. DPI is like when you print, and then PPI is for digital. It's almost like CMYK versus RGB. RGB is like it's red, green, blue. It's how computer screens. RGB is how computer screens read color, and so or display color. It's in red, green, and blue. And then when you print, though, typically it's CMYK, which is cyan, magenta.
This is right off the dome, y'all.
Yeah, cyan, magenta, yellow, and then black.
Okay, that makes sense. For some reason, and those are the colors we have in our printers.
Yeah, exactly. Except
this is why we hire professionals.
So we have like light magenta, light black. We have, I think we have light black also, which so that, because like a lot of times. All right, well.
Anyways, that is pretty useful information.
Life as an artist. Sometimes you want to hire some stuff out.
That's a very good topic.
That's a very good point. Let's talk about that, because the printing is very niche. So
it's very important.
If anybody wants to ask any questions about printing, just DM me on Instagram. So then I'll try to get to your questions.
DMs, yo.
I have a few since we went camping, but okay. So let's talk about hiring stuff out. So as an artist, as a professional artist, what should you hire out, and what should you make sure to keep doing yourself?
Well, I think, and I'm going to take this advice pretty soon, but I'm giving advice that I need to take myself. So hire out the parts that you just don't have time to do or really know nothing about, and you'd rather focus elsewhere. But there are a lot of artists out there who are like super fast, great learners, and they want to take on everything. And I think that's another good approach, is to learn everything yourself, and then you stick to the things you really want to do, and then you hire out the rest. So that's probably the best
as a
option.
Leadership. I mean, that's like what I like to do, because if you're leading other people in a team, if you don't know how to do something, then you don't really know if they're doing it right.
Exactly.
And so like for me, if I know like how to, for example, if I know how to run a marketing campaign, and I hire out targeters to do the targeting for me. Well, if it's not a very successful campaign, I can go in there and I can look and see what they're doing wrong, or I can look and see what they're doing right, and if they are any good. So I think that learning, or at least learning the 10% that matters the most of each subject, with everything, there's the 80-20 rule. I can't remember who came up with it, but like 20% of the effort almost always,
Tim Ferriss.
Invariably, well, he didn't come up with it. He just is the one who popularized it.
Okay.
But 20% yields 80% of the results. That's the 80-20 rule. And so you can you can basically learn anything up to 80%, which is a B, if you go by grades, which is pretty good, that's passing. And most people are in the 80% range too, even if they spend a lot of time learning stuff. But anyways, now I'm kind of getting off on a tangent. as an artist, I think that you want to hire out the things that anyone else can do, but you want to do the things that only you can do.
Exactly.
I think and mostly what that is it's creating art. Like you're the only one who can make your art, hopefully.
And creating good content.
And
the
content,
words that you communicate to your audience, your videos, your pictures, all that. You can direct people to help take pictures of you, but you need to have a vision yourself.
Yeah.
You can't just let someone brand you. Like you have to be, you have to understand your brand.
Exactly.
I would say your website is important, that you are really involved with that. You can hire parts of your website to be built out, but you need to understand how your website works, how to update it, how to change it. But I would say customer service, that's a whole thing that you could hire out to someone. And I think that would,
Maybe
I really want
eventually?
to do that, because it will just, I'll be able to help a lot more people and answer people back just, faster. So
Close the sales too.
yeah. And right now, our team, it's just you and me, Jake. You help me a lot in a lot of the back end stuff, doing ads, marketing, writing things. He really helps a lot. So I would like to expand it though and have a few more people.
If you want to work with Dimitra, let us know. What were you going to say, John?
Well, this is all a lot of really important, good, solid information. I'm enjoying it a lot. I always enjoy all the podcasts you're doing. I'm getting all these messages. I don't know, was that what happens when you're in here?
Yeah, when you do a podcast, then you get a bunch of messages.
What happens? These guys are in Europe and they're sending me pictures and I'm getting distracted here.
Okay. So my next question, follow up to that, is at what point do you feel like you should start to hire people? When do you know that, all right, it's time to expand the team?
Well, I think when you get behind the
good
ball,
question.
you notice you're just not ahead of the ball anymore, and it's just rolling away, and you don't know how to keep up. I think that's a spot where that just shows you okay, you need some help, you need to do things differently. It's just an indication, but also I think another approach is if you want to be ahead of the ball and you want to open yourself up for a lot of business, then you have to get yourself in position to handle it. So you can just be proactive before you have a lot of sales. I don't know, I think you could have one or two people helping you and, have your website ready to handle.
Even if I get one person helping me, I might jump in for joy. I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, I would say
feel like
you're
a
in a
one-man
spot where
show.
you
I don't know.
definitely need
I'm
someone.
learning right here. And I wrote down a long list. I'm looking for personal shopper. What do you call it? Personal assistant. Amen. Someone is out there in the world who would like to be an assistant to an artist like myself, but it's not a 24/7 type of thing. I have narrowed it down to just a few hours a day, and it is going to be the best ride of a lifetime, even if a person could only handle it for a few months.
Oh my God.
I always think of myself as pretty easy to deal with, but I want to go to the streets with cameras and do art on the streets and have people film and edit and do a little advertising. And
You need to do murals.
I'm not going to say, I need a cappuccino right now. We're in the helicopter. I'm not going to. Maybe eventually on yachts.
We're in the
and
helicopter.
Bring the yacht around.
But I just want to say your website is super, super cool. And everyone watching, you should definitely check out his website. He has hundreds of products.
More is more.
I was amazed how many products you created. And
Is
it's
it just
all up
DJ?
there.
It's djfreezyj.com?
Show him your phone case. That's super cool.
So,
Here, show it to that camera. Over
what
there.
you can do with a little bit lower resolution is a lot of
raise it up.
smaller products.
put it in front of your face?
I would say, like,
because they're useful, so I test them all out. Right now, I'm my best customer, but I wear clothing, pajamas, exercise wear, everything.
He orders
round
one
the
of
clock
each of everything.
until they fade, and then I can see how it fades, and I can make phone calls.
Well, it's
Hey,
really good.
guys,
That's a good point, though,
make samples,
actually.
of your stuff. I tell all the artists I meet, different companies they can work with too, to do the same thing that I'm doing.
I think if that's a good point. If you are selling products that are like drop shipping or print on demand, specifically not drop shipping, then I think that it's really important for you to order before you sell it.
I need to take this call right now.
Okay, sorry. We'll wait.
Yes. You
5,000 orders.
They want a whole bunch of phone cases. What, the guy in Miami? Okay.
The guy in Miami? No way. Which one? I'm just kidding. But if you are going to, sell products that are printed by like Printify or Printful or Pixels.com or whatever service you use, you want to make sure that you order samples in advance. Even if you think that your art looks perfect, when you upload it, a lot of the times, at least what I've noticed is that when you print it, it prints a lot darker. So you might have to turn up the saturation,
some leggings one time.
Turn up the brightness.
Remember one time we made some leggings, and they came like for little infants. They were really small leggings.
Oh my gosh,
know how
I
this
remember
happened,
that.
but they were in such a nice quality.
They were so tiny.
They were nice. We just had extra large, whatever, and it's miniature. Factory can get it wrong, so you need to. The samples are
very
so important.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other topic, but
It's beginning to get streamlined and better now.
But
It is, yeah.
as an artist, like, to bring this back to the subject of how to live an artist's life, you can think about just like you create one piece of art, how many things can come from that, and it's a huge part of your business, like thinking of different products or different ways that you can capitalize on that one piece of art. And so that's definitely part of the artist lifestyle.
You can get a caravan, you can wrap it with art, you can have drapery of towels and blankets, and you can sell your products from different states and different towns. You could hire it out. You could
hire it out.
Totally make videos of that. You could just be creative. So I wondered, in your topic today, saying living as an artist, what I wanted to throw out there was less of the super strong questions, but when you're living that way and you're trying to be creative and fun, ask me something like that.
Okay, just answer that question.
When you're living and you're trying to be creative and fun, what kind of a mindset do you have?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, why you asked that one? All right. Okay, so you need to look at things in a different way. You need to realize maybe artists are a little bit different, and that's okay. It's a good thing to be, and they're extra sensitive, and so you need to know when you're creating art how important that is for other people too, not only yourself, but you also want to balance it, that you are having fun with it. So I have never really liked super realistic, plain, ordinary paintings. I would go to museums and see all those things, but I thought if I could just get a small fraction of that and then get some other ideas in. I used to love comics a lot, and I would study those really fully, but I didn't like the typical comics that you see. The more underground comics, Zap comics, really wild stuff from the 60s, 70s, and Hate Street. There's a lot of artists from there, Robert Crumb, different unusual stuff. I didn't like that it was rated R or beyond, but
or beyond.
I wanted to make my art a little more personal, and they were just being free. I can realize in the 60s, everyone wanted to just push all the limits, just be as free as you want. I mean, it's only the human body. It's only, we have to make jokes that are not the typical jokes, so when you're being creative, you want your story to come through in your art, and not where someone sees it and they go, oh, it's a tiger. You want it to be wild, wild tiger stripes jumping off, turning into clouds or something. There's surrealism, that's a little bit of realism. It's been
So,
something I was interested
You're
in.
talking
Salvador
about
Dali.
pushing the envelope with your voice, like really be super unique.
Pushing the
I know you love that phrase, push the envelope. Okay, what would you say instead of that phrase? What does it mean to you?
Breaking the sound barrier, pushing the limits.
Okay,
different-
that's good.
different
How
ways.
do you break the sound barrier?
I have a lot of word hang-ups, and it's my own fault. I don't know why, but just as an
Are
artist.
they velvet hangers or are they plastic hangers?
Hangers, word hangers.
You just got to take those hangers off the shelf, off of the closet door, take the clothes off and put them on sometimes.
It's getting very abstract in here.
We haven't even started, guys.
Okay, we should answer questions.
Well, we have
and
another 2 hours left.
we should do the critique and then
I lose
answer
track of time
questions.
easily.
Wait, before we move on though,
Okay.
I want to ask one more question. How do you stay in the abstraction as an artist? How do you
It should
live
almost be illegal.
I feel like he
But
never gets out of that
I don't want it
space.
to be illegal.
That's where he lives
I went
all the
into
time.
abstract world back when I was like 2 or 3 years old, and I did not come out.
Exactly.
So I would love to share that with you, but we have to go back in time for a moment to get there.
Okay.
So I went to a lot of art schools from a young age till recently when I joined the mastery program, and Demetra became my teacher. And so we're always learning. We never stop learning. So if we can tell ourselves, there is a little switch where we become just so with life. You just let everything go, follow all the rules, do everything. It's not that I want to be a rule breaker, but why has society become so much like Legos and just it's this way? So when people say you have a 9 to 5, then you're going to think you get in your car and you're going back in the highway and everyone's in a traffic jam and you're in a cubicle and you're working all the time. So if you're trying to think as a young person, you want to do something different, I think that is what life is about, and we should not be in the cubicles. If we choose to, we can, but why is it that society's been that way? So if you ask yourself those type of questions and you want to go above the grid and you're flying above it, you can see from another perspective. So I guess my mind just travels to outside the maze, and I stay in that mode of like every single day is a huge adventure of some type. So when my family says, hey, let's go to the river and get on boats and go, I'm thinking, well, there's alligators. My mind imagines things. What happens if the boat tips over? I'm thinking of a million abstract ideas. But I need to say, yes, we'll get in the boat and we'll paddle nicely. Let's put a motor on that boat. Come on, now let's get all the fishing poles out. And then I think I got to bring a cooler. I got to bring, you start to think in an abstract
art,
way.
John, back to the art.
Yes. What are we going to do with all these fish? Okay. So
We're going to paint them.
when you're living an abstract type of lifestyle as an artist, when you see a blank canvas, you know what you have to do to that thing. You have to totally take it over and bring that picture to life. So you're kind of visualizing things before it happens. You're seeing the process right before your eyes. So you're pulling this idea from some magical place, and you have to live in that moment. And then when you're done with the art, you're so jazzed up with energy. It's not like coffee or anything did that. You're going to be living like that. And you're driving your car and you're seeing paintings flying around. That's more dangerous than having a cell phone that's illegal on your face. So then when you're seeing paintings in the air while you're driving, is someone going to make a law about that?
John recently got a ticket, so that's what that's about.
I am 100% a careful driver, and I
It's a
will
brand
not
new.
be
We don't need
touching
to-
a
we
cell
don't need to
phone
go
when
in.
I'm
Yeah.
driving. So I am telling you right now, in abstract world, I think all the cars should have giant rubber bumpers. We should drive at 15 miles per hour. We should have air cars by now. Where's all the inventions? Come on, people. We need everyone to make inventions right now and to change the way they
I agree
Could
with
you
that.
airdrop those pictures? I just have this one
yeah.
picture. And then share it with your father as well.
Okay, I already did that, so I'll just send it to you.
And
Okay.
these are super fabulous pieces of art. I really, really love them.
So we're going to start off with Saskia Van Drunen.
Saskia Van Drunen.
I'm so sorry.
Are you out
I
there
most
tonight?
definitely
Is her
said that
art
wrong.
up?
Are you out
Okay.
there tonight?
So, Freezy, you want to start with the critique on this one?
Yes. I'm looking at this piece here. Can the camera see these?
Yeah, it's on the screen.
It's on the screen.
Now, the first thing I think is it's a nice balanced figure here. It has a touch of realism, but it also has the open spaces, very well done open spaces. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. It has a touch of abstract elements coming in, nice overlapping of imagery, different sizes, which is important. You wouldn't want to have all the butterflies the same, so they've got different sizes. And I just feel like this artist is going to continue with this look and take it really far.
Yeah, I think it's a super beautiful piece, a really good color story, great, transitions, lots of resting space, like John said. I think overall, in order to take it just, a bit higher, it just needs a little bit more refinement. I think that, for example, in the hands, they could be refined a little bit better, like the fingernails. I'm not sure what the thing is on the right hand. I mean, the hand on the left side.
Jewelry, like a jewelry flower.
Maybe, yeah.
I think that just needs a little bit more refinement.
Hands are very important.
Yeah, they are. If you have hands in a piece, you have to spend a lot of time on it. And then I think the nose, something with the nostril on her, if you're, look at the nostril on the left side, but it's her right, from the perspective of the subject. Something is up with that, the little dark spot right there, that just kind of sticks out to me. And then anything else?
Yeah, I think this is a really, really beautiful piece, and the color scheme's really sellable. It's like soft. I love how you faded her hair and her head into the background. That's like really hard to do, so you did a really good job. I think, like, overall, I agree with what they're saying. Just a little bit more detail, mostly in the hands, but, like, I think her face looks great. The butterflies, I would love to see more butterflies, because I love how you have 5 of them, but maybe you could have, like, a few more kind of going up, like, maybe from her hands, like, through the blue and the orange. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
And then it would tie the butterflies on the right side of the painting together. So I think that's my only critique.
And then maybe just a little bit more variety of line with the butterflies. And then edges.
Edges.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, overall it is a super beautiful piece. It has such a really good feeling too when you look at it. It's so peaceful and regal.
She looks like she's in the abstract realm.
She's living there.
I think this artist could pretty much do any subject. She just puts her mind to it.
Yeah, very well done, Saskia. Next, you guys want to do Danielle?
Yeah.
Danielle Yoder.
Danielle, this piece is so beautiful. I really love the bold color and how it's kind of a limited palette, but it's extremely sellable colors. Just how the abstract meshes with the woman, it's really, really cool. I think this piece could be done as is, but just to critique a few things, to make it even better. It could be complete the way it is. But I would say maybe just softening some of the features in the face, so things won't be as pointy. Like around the lips, you could kind of soften just the harsh outline of the red, and that would just make her more beautiful. Like when features are really soft and the lines fade, the face will just be more beautiful. So I think like the way you did her jaw and her chin looks really good, and maybe it's just her nose and her lips that need that. But her eyes look great, her hair looks great.
I was going to say on the eyes, one of them, the one on the left, is a little bit higher than the one on the right, if you look closely. Like if you were to draw a straight line across. So, and then they're slightly off color, which the color is not a big deal, but I think if you just look at them, they're slightly crooked.
Yeah, but
it's ever so slightly, and I think that it's just one of those things that if you just spent a little extra time on it, and you leveled out the eyes, I think it would, because that's, I don't know, it's just proportionally, like, to me, that's what stands out. And like Dimitri said, it's a super sellable piece, like the abstraction and the color scheme, all of it. It's really cool. And also, I love how you did your signature on the side.
Say, your signature is amazing. Cool. Like, really cool.
It feels like a part of the art. It's like really cool.
I thought it was part of the art, like just like a squiggle, and then I realized, oh, it's her signature.
Yeah, very cool. Here, you go ahead, John.
Oh, yes, I absolutely love it. Very nice limited color palette, very balanced with the open spaces around the edges here, and the fade out from and the nice marks, and the fairly realistic figure. And it's difficult to find a figure that you want to paint that everyone can relate to. Mm-hmm. And so this person, I would like to meet this person. I see interesting figure, like in concentration. It's a little moody. It's like a serious look, like a serious thought.
Yeah.
Painting. Those type of paintings need to be made, and it's very well done. Every area. And I think a clear coat would help, because I see a little bit of like dry on the black sometimes.
I see.
It looks nice. A lot of people don't do clear coats, but when I started to do them, go over some matte black, comes to life. Becomes an overall unified piece there. Just be very careful with the clear coats. And very good, Danielle Yoder.
Yeah, Danielle is in the mastery program. I'm pretty sure
I've been watching your career.
One of her portfolio pieces, and she's just doing amazing.
Yeah.
So super
cool.
Yeah, very unique
Thanks
voice.
for sending these in, artists.
So next we have Jessica Spooner.
Wow, this piece is very, very cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Very unique color scheme. I think, again, like this piece could be done as is, and the critiques we're giving, just will make it better, but it's a totally sellable piece. Just the way you captured her face, her expression, her wild hair, it's
I love
really
the hair.
cool. I really love how you left a lot of like the underneath, like you have lots of thick and thin paint, so you have like a really good variety, and it's just super unique. I think my only critique would just be to have some of the hair around the face, kind of like you see the hair on top of the face, like maybe you have a few
strands.
Curls or strands, kind of.
Or the electricity sound wave coming, there's maybe a little.
At the top, the white.
It's coming across, maybe just for a moment.
Oh, I see.
It could change to white.
Yeah.
It could change to white.
The mark making. Just have something from the hair come over her face, because it just has like the same edge all along her face.
Big edge there, but very electric, very nice, and also excellent color choices. Very, very different. And this could go in almost any room. That's what you're going for, and a lot of people can relate to this type of figure. And the first thing I look at art is, I want to have it. I want to put it in my home. With all three of these.
So I think a few things that I personally see that I think would make it better are, so around the nose you see a little bit of like pen work, but that's really the only spot on the whole
but that could be
figure
part of
that
the
you
painting.
see. Yeah, so what I was going to say is just do more of that, or take it out, because it feels like it's just like, if you like either do more of the pen work so that it feels more sketchy, or don't have it, just because it's only in that one spot, so it feels slightly out of place. Also, eyelashes on her. I think eyelashes would make her feel like super pretty. She already looks really pretty, but I think also the skin tones, it's kind of a yellowish all over, and so
like a mango.
Yeah, so I think if it had a little bit more of those like white pastel-y blue on some parts of it.
Or some like peach, flesh.
Yeah,
tint.
more flesh tones. Just either or, I think that would help, and kind of take it to another level. And then other than that, though, it's super cool. And a lot of variety of color in there. That's like really good and successfully done.
Very hip.
Very
modern, contemporary colors.
I'm excited to see more of your work.
Yeah.
Jessica Spooner.
So you guys watching, if you want your art to have a chance to be critiqued on the show, just use the hashtag on Instagram, Art Breakthrough 2021, and I think we'll be doing this for a few more weeks. When we kind of like to, for a whole season, we do, something at the end of the show. And the first season of the podcast we did, or I guess light movement show now, we did right brain exercises. So now we're doing critiques, and then we might change it. So
question and answer time.
Yeah, it's time for a Q&A. If you guys have any questions. How many people are out there?
Are we getting abstract enough?
Braylee, she said y'all need a graphic designer. Hit us up on Instagram.
Cool.
Because we do sometimes. So
yeah, definitely.
That would be awesome. Let's see. So it looks like not really many questions right now. Different ways to capitalize on your art. I don't know if that's a question or not, but what do you guys think?
It's a topic to throw in there. Capitalizing on your art is a very good question. So what I always do is tell artists, if you want to have sales immediately, the first thing, you can make some sizes that people can put in any space, in any room, and you can give as gifts. So you can promote these little small paintings, even if they're 8 by 8. I still get requests for those. You can come up with a larger painting from doing many small paintings. So as you're building along, if you have a set of 9, sometimes you will sell all 9 because people can mix and match and put them in a grid in their home. So you can make the best paintings ever, get a good price for each one. And you're just coming up with little marketing ways and finding small galleries or even any venues to show your art wherever you can. Keep really good track of it. Make a handwritten special notes to yourself, like the best restaurants, best galleries. Then you contact them a special way. What you can do is have a small document when a place agrees to have your work, so that when it sells, you share the profit with them.
Or some restaurants don't even care. They just want to have beautiful art on their walls. So
yeah. Another way to capitalize on your art, like through making products, so like a different route if you want to make lots of products. A lot of artists, like we see, they make a painting and they print it on everything, and they print mugs, they print like the same art and put it on a lot of different things. But the way to approach it is think about that specific painting and what specific products would best translate that painting. And like not every painting will look good on a mug, or not every painting would look good on a throw. And you can take, what we've been learning recently is you can take parts of your painting and kind of cut it out, like work on it on like Pixelmator or Photoshop, and create your own design from your paintings.
Yes.
Specifically for products. So that's another way to
with the jaggedy
capitalize on your art.
edges and very modern.
Braylee, that's how we would want to get you in on designing some products if you have product design.
That's what we need
experience.
help with. Yeah.
Okay, so Anna Sun is wondering, did working with publishers and galleries initially help Dimitra grow her following on Instagram? Is it possible to grow your following this much with your own efforts?
So Anna, to answer that question, I started working with those publishers right around when I got Instagram. So I was 15 when I started posting work to Instagram. And actually, it wasn't really the galleries that helped me get a bunch of followers. It was this one company, or this one magazine, an online magazine called My Modern Met. And they were much smaller at the time. Now you can see they have millions of reach. Like they've gotten so huge, but at the time they were a lot smaller, and they reached out to me to do an article. I of course said yes, and from there was like just a snowball effect with all these other online magazines, and almost overnight, I remember like waking up the next morning, I had 10,000 followers. It was just, it was crazy. And then in the course of a month, I think it went up to 30 or 40,000. So that happened really fast and really organically through just online magazines. And that had nothing to do with the galleries. But of course, being in galleries helped me, like helped my story, and helped because I was so young, like being in a gallery at that age, that helped the story. And so I think it was kind of all synergistic. But I would say now, like, you can definitely grow, but try to grow on other platforms besides just Instagram.
Yeah,
and
totally
they'll all feed into each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, like, invest in some time, like writing a press release for yourself, or try to like get your story out there, put it on all these online magazines, and then they'll direct to your website or to your social medias, and that will help you grow.
And if you have people going to your website, sorry, real quick, John, make sure to get their emails, get their, phone number. Honestly, phone number is better nowadays than email. So get their phone number, have some sort of like pop-up that says like get 10% off your next order or something like that, where, you can collect people's information for your future marketing efforts.
Okay, the best way to capitalize on your art is to make extremely sellable art. So look at what's really selling today, super popular topics and subjects, and just get out into areas where you can get as many eyes on your product as possible. You need to make sales one after the other. Have a special way, like a Square Reader or PayPal or
We'll
anything.
do it online probably.
If it's online, have a free shipping, or make a game like free gift with purchase, or just capitalize all the way, make as much as you can, because you will feel very much better when you're making many sales.
That's actually a great point, like making a game. Like one thing that a lot of artists don't do, like I think one misconception that artists have when trying to create a strong online presence, or like an online business really, is they try to emulate other artists. But I think artists should emulate the most successful businesses.
Yes,
and I think
true.
I don't know where you said that, you just said that recently though, I think it was in the conference, but instead of looking at what Dimitra does, look at like in trying to emulate her her online business, which I think she has a good one. We've worked together to make it, but look at like Anthropology, or this chocolate company called Vasquez Hot Chocolate, or another, like an online company that you spend your money on. Like, where do you spend your money? Why do you spend your money with them?
How did they get you?
And how did they get you?
Vasquez sends messages, like,
text
to
messages,
my
yeah.
phone number,
Yes,
and
I
with
get them at
coupons,
least
I'm like, it's
once
always
a
on
day.
my mind, like, should I get more chocolate? Maybe. And
Yeah. And then
I just
sure
go over to
enough,
her
for
house.
her birthday, I buy her Vasquez chocolate. So,
And I just look for leftovers.
but anyways, what sparked that thought was John said game, like make it a game, and loyalty programs. A lot of, I don't think I've seen a single artist with a
Buy
loyalty
one, get
program.
one free.
P.S. There's going to be a loyalty program for Dimitra coming soon.
Yes.
But
Free
anyways,
coffee.
let's see. Moving on to the next question. How do you differentiate while still remaining in a popular genre? So how do you keep your art like unique while still trying to fit with the popular niche? That's a good
that
question.
is a very
nice
good
one.
question. I would say first and most importantly,
Develop
paint.
your skills.
Yes,
Well.
but paint the things that you want to paint. Like, you first got to know your voice and what you love to paint, and then you can translate that into, other styles of art. But you first want to know, like, what is your voice, what is your style, have like a whole cohesive body of work, and then you can look, like, from there. That's where you start. Then you can, find some other art that's you think is selling a lot and it's like really popular, and then you can kind of just take aspects of that, but it has to be your voice, and kind of go with the rest of your work.
I have a friend who makes scribbles, and they're so popular that now he does mural after mural every single place in Atlanta. He's like, Coleman is his name, Jason Coleman, and I love his work. And ever since I've known him, he was doing similar like a look. So he got into this giant scribble effect. It's like a paint mark, but he's become so good at it, and he's in such high demand because he went after the same look just over and over. But I can't explain it. He went from the heart. It translates right into there, and there's not really a painting. It's just a movement of marks.
Yeah, I would say like another perspective to look at this is like the more that you stay true to yourself and uniquely staying like what's important to you, then that thing that you create will be so unique and really stand out, and you can create your own trends. And that's how trends are made, is by someone just breaking out and doing their own thing, no matter how weird it is. Just like that's another way to go, and you'll create your own trend. And I notice like all the trendy art, it's like when you see so much of it, it's boring, and then like we're waiting for something new to happen. So sometimes I think like if you want to create art that's really sellable, and I mean, there's a lot of tips and techniques. We had a few webinars on how to create sellable art, which you can go watch those. I think they're on YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. So we give a lot of great techniques and ideas on how to create sellable art, and that translates into your own style. You're not just going to create something that's not you. But anyways.
But if you really want to like dive into like discovering what your voice is, and, you know, and really equipping yourself to like fully express your voice without limiting yourself to what's easy to paint, you have to develop your skills. And I think that, you know, our free webinars are great if you already have some skill.
Yeah.
Some of them are for more beginners, but if you really want to like find your voice as an artist, you should take the mastery program, because
and I recently took it, and I loved it. It was really,
and he was a professional artist for 25 years, and he took the mastery
changed
program.
my life again.
Why don't you talk about why you decided to take the mastery program? I was going to ask you that.
And he also did it too.
Yeah,
so he knows what I'm talking about. And I would tell anyone to do it. Just go for it, because the price is right. There's nobody doing it for this price in the world. You're going to make more with your sales. I surpassed my class like 30 times over. I don't even know how to. I sold one painting. It would have paid for 4 of these year-long classes. And we did art shows. We rented venues. We did more using the skills that we got during that program than I did in all the other years. I was just building and building. But when I came to starting from the basics and going to the end result, there's something magical going on in this program that you would have so much to learn from it, and you can share it with others. And if you're wanting to ask us questions, we have a hotline. We have various ways where you can contact us. You can tell your friends about it and become an affiliate. Is like ways you can make money from before you even start.
That's true.
So, but why? I mean, you were a professional artist for like 25 years.
I guess I didn't answer the question accurately.
And you even went to 2 different art schools, UGA, their art program, and SCAD, you know, Savannah College of Art and Design. And you had a successful art career for a very long time with Ellie, and then you decided to take the mastery program. Like, what made you want to take the mastery program?
I would say I wanted to learn more and see what it was all about. Well, and so what happened was I wanted to know from the roots level exactly what all the fun was about, because for years I was helping around the scenes for 11 years with the school, but I was grateful and thankful that I could start from the beginning again, and it brought back all the memories of going to art school, but this time more focused in a small space, small amount of time, where all the skill building and levels of techniques, just one after the other, it's good as a refresher for anyone. Many people I know who are teachers have joined, and they love it too. Mm-hmm. And everyone wants to be part of like a community and a group of artists. And so we personally believe with many, many artists, you will come up with solutions and inventions and things.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that part of the reason was because like you were watching all of these other artists, go through and have their art completely change and their lives change?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. That was part of the reason why I want to, because I actually, before I took the master program, I actually sold art for the previous year's graduates. So we had an art show at a gallery in Scottsdale, and I was one of the art salesperson, and we sold a good amount of art. And I was like, I went around and I was talking to a lot of the artists, and almost every single one of them didn't really have much experience before taking the master program. And I was just like, what, like looking around at all of this art, and like it was like professional art, like art that I had seen in galleries, like better than most art that I'd seen in galleries. In fact,
that first club was the ultimate gallery club. It was like really
it was very nice. In fact, though, once when we were putting up the art, people who were walking by in Scottsdale were stopping, they were looking, and I heard like not just one, but it was like 3 different couples, or I don't know, like one of them was just, they were all couples, I think, but they said that the art that they were looking at was like just different than the other art, that any of the art that they'd ever seen in that gallery before. And Scottsdale, for those of you who don't know, is a very affluent place in Arizona. It's like the Beverly Hills of Arizona, and it's where the wealthy people live, and where the like all the nice galleries are at, and just selling art and like talking or hearing people talk about the art that they were seeing and seeing the art myself.
The gallery owners were loving it.
Yeah, it really made me think like, oh my gosh, like anyone can become a professional artist in a year. Like I was like, what the heck? And all these people, like, who was it? Sarah, she cleared like $4,000 or $5,000 that night, or more, I think actually. I don't know if it was what the brunette with the dream. Sarah. Okay, yeah. And then other people sold, like a lot of other people sold art too. And Maria, she sold a ton of art too. Yeah. But it just really inspired me. And then afterwards, like when I took the mastery program, I mean, I'll be real with you guys, like I got a discount because, I was working for the Milans at the time, but I still had to pay for all my supplies, and I had to pay for some of the program too, but I paid for everything, and it was just 4 months just by selling my art. I think I sold over like $4,000 worth of art in the 4 months. Yeah. And even if you were taking it throughout the whole 1 year, the program only costs $2,000 or $2,400, whatever. So it's crazy. I mean, we've heard countless stories of people who have more than paid back their whole tuition, made an actual year's worth of salary in just their first year of painting.
I did.
It's crazy. So if anyone is wondering what the master program is all about, we have a 10-minute video on our master program page, and Ellie and Dimitra talk about it. You can hear testimonials from people.
It's a really amazing video.
It explains,
inspiring.
Yeah, it explains the whole entire master program and everything that you need to know about it. So it's super cool. If you're in the master program and you're watching this right now, you guys, I would love it if you guys could just comment, tell about your experience, because I mean, I think I haven't heard a single person who's gone through the entire program and who hasn't loved it. So it's pretty, I mean, it's a life-changing program. Yeah. Definitely. For myself and for everyone I've talked to who's taken it. So if you're thinking about taking it, today's the last day that you can sign up in 2021 for the entire year. For this year. If you want to take the program, now is the time to do it, because you don't want to wait. I mean, like, you could sign up in 4 months from now. That it's fine, like if you waited until then, but that's 4 months that you're not living in your destiny. That's 4 months you'll never get back that you spent waiting for the right time. But I'll just give you a secret, there's never a right time to start. I mean, it's always the right time to start.
I just want to mention one thing to the same topic, is we also have the personal touch. It's not just a school where here's your information, now run with it. Everyone here we work together, so you not only can have a coach help you along, you can have many artists to talk with. So it's a very unique type of situation that we haven't seen anywhere else like this one. And we're not just bragging, we're just trying to show you that it's
well,
there.
we're just passionate about it because, like, I mean, so many people, I went to a university myself, and I'm just frustrated because, you know, had thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of debt, and what did I get? Basically nothing. Like, literally, like, you get almost nothing from the traditional educational system. I mean, so many people just rack up so much student debt. It drives me insane because it's like you just waste all this money, and it's the system that is designed to get as much money out of you as possible. It's designed to try to, like, how can we get people to pay $70,000 a year, $40,000 a year for the average art school? Most of them are above $40,000 if you want to go to a good art school. For 4 years. That's $160,000. Most people can't pay for themselves, and so you get out loans, and then you're enslaved. It's like you're enslaved for years and years, or your parents are, and it's just, it makes me so mad. So that's why I'm so passionate about the mastery program, because it's like the opposite. Like, we designed it so that, well, I didn't design it. Ellie and Dimitra and John made it so that it's like anyone can do it. Really, if you have a desire to be an artist, $200 a month is nothing. I mean, you pay, what, $10 a month for Netflix? You go out to eat, and you spend probably $200 a month when you go out to eat. I mean, I don't think that you should cut back from your lifestyle to pursue your destiny, but if you have to, then yes, you need to, because it's your destiny.
Guys, you're going to be your own boss. From this point on, you want to be your own boss. That's the bottom line. You got to work for yourself, and whatever time you put in, you're going to benefit from it.
100%. So that's it for today. We're a little bit over time. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do want to sign up for the mastery program, there's a link in the description below this video, or you could just go to our website, milanartinstitute.com. And if you guys like this video, then, consider subscribing to our channel. We do a podcast or a show like this every single weekend on Saturday at 12 p.m. EST. So you can count on that next week. We will see you guys next week for the next show. Hope you guys had a good one.